Wednesday, we messed up. It doesn't feel good, and I'm sorry.
That's ExxonMobil's refinery manager Brian Ablett apologizing to the community for what some are calling a lack of communication. Find out what concerned residents had to say at the recent town hall meeting.
Plus, city departments work quickly to present information on how Torrance responded to the explosion. We'll take you to this week's council meeting.
Then, thanks to a recent college fair, Torrance families get the answers they need for students considering higher education.
And we take you inside a local volunteer center offering much more than free screenings and medical care for HIV/AIDS patients. These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chin.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. Inglewood City Council took a major step this week toward bringing professional football back to Los Angeles. Inglewood city leaders bypassed a special vote and instead adopted a plan called City of Champions Revitalization Project to build a football stadium on the site of the old Hollywood Park racetrack. The project, spearheaded by St. Louis Rams owner Stan Kroenke and Stockbridge Capital Group, announced plans in January to build the arena, which would seat 80,000 fans and redevelop the 298-acre site. According to Inglewood City analysts, the project could create more than 20,000 full-time and part-time jobs during construction and more than 10,000 permanent jobs in the future. Plans to fast-track the Inglewood Stadium comes on the heels of another recent announcement to build a $1.7 billion privately funded arena in Carson that would house the San Diego Chargers and Oakland Raiders. Both the Inglewood and Carson Stadium projects would be built using private financing.
Investigations are underway with the National Transportation Safety Board in the hopes of finding some answers as to what exactly happened leading up to the 5-car Metrolink train crash. Federal officials announced they've obtained the video taken inside the Metrolink commuter train that captured moments before and after it hit the truck on February 24th, leaving 28 people injured and several in critical condition. The Ventura County Line Train 102 was headed to downtown Los Angeles from Oxnard with 51 people on board when the crash happened just before 6 a.m. The 5-car passenger train was traveling at speeds of 79 miles per hour when the engineer spotted a truck on the tracks and pulled the emergency brake. According to Metrolink, it takes between a quarter to half mile to stop a train with 5 cars. The driver of the truck, a 54-year-old Arizona native, Jose Alejandro Sanchez Ramirez, says he apparently misjudged the turn and drove his F-450 truck onto the railroad tracks and got stuck. In recent years, Metrolink has replaced almost its entire fleet of passenger cars with Rotom coaches, considered the state-of-the-art in safety. The cars have crush zones, breakaway tables, improved emergency exits, and seating arrangements that can reduce the risk of passengers being thrown into fixtures or each other in an accident. There were no fatalities in this crash.
It's been more than a decade since former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger talked about his dream of building a hydrogen highway. Well, that dream might actually become a reality. The California Energy Commission announced plans to spend $20 million to build close to half of the approximately 100 stations needed to give a driver of a hydrogen car enough range to travel freely through most parts of the state. So far, about 10 stations are operational, mostly in the LA and San Francisco areas, servicing only a couple of 100 hydrogen-powered cars running statewide. Stations are open in Torrance, Harbor City, Burbank, Fountain Valley, Irvine, and Newport Beach, starting in October with a new fuel station in the city of Coalinga near Interstate 5 in the San Joaquin Valley. Hydrogen cars will be able to get from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Hyundai, Toyota, and Honda already have or are planning to make hydrogen cars available in dealer showrooms.
Local Congressman Ted Lieu is putting the pressure on the Food and Drug Administration in the wake of the UCLA superbug infections now linked to contaminated medical scopes. In a letter sent to the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, the Torrance lawmaker said outbreaks related to contaminated medical scopes have national security ramifications. The FDA issued a safety warning to doctors and hospitals nationwide about the issue of the scope nearly 3 decades after the first infections surfaced. Reports say the drug-resistant superbug traced to those medical scopes contributed to the deaths of 2 patients at UCLA's Ronald Reagan Medical Center, where 5 other patients are still fighting infections, and 179 others who may have been exposed from October to January after undergoing a procedure for ERCP, or endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreography. Lieu said the FDA didn't issue its safety alert until after the Los Angeles Times exposed the medical scope problems last week. He says the agency has to be held accountable and wants to know, what did the agency know and what are they doing about it and what are they going to do to prevent future occurrences. A spokesperson for the FDA said that pulling ERCP devices from the market would pose more harm to public health by removing a life-saving medical instrument.
A recent lawsuit filed against Nestle Purina Pet Care Company is claiming that one of the company's most popular dog food brands contains toxins that are poisoning and even killing people's pets. The lawsuit, filed in California federal court earlier this month by pet owner Frank Lucido, alleges that thousands of dogs have become ill or died as a result of eating Beneful dry kibble dog food. According to the suit, Lucido claims his family began feeding his 3 dogs Beneful exclusively beginning late last year. And because of home renovations, the dogs were kept in 3 different houses. By the end of January, all 3 of the dogs became ill, with one eventually dying. A postmortem examination revealed signs of internal bleeding in the dog's stomach and lesions on his liver. Similar symptoms were found in Lucido's other dogs, according to Lucido's lawyers. His 2 remaining dogs are currently in veterinary care. Lucido's story is similar to more than 3,000 complaints consumers have made online of dogs becoming ill and in some cases dying after eating Beneful kibble-style dog foods. The consistent symptoms reported include stomach internal bleeding, malfunction, or failure of the liver, vomiting, diarrhea, and weight loss. The lawsuit claims toxins such as mycotoxins and propylene glycol, a component of the automotive antifreeze. Purina says on its website that the type it uses is an FDA-approved food additive that is also in human foods like salad dressing and cake mix. Mycotoxins are a group of toxins produced by mold found in grains, a major ingredient in Beneful. The lawsuit is asking that Purina pay Lucido and other members of the class action lawsuit unspecified actual statutory and punitive damages and restitution.
If you haven't caught on to the trend of bringing a reusable shopping bag, you may not need to after all, at least until voters weigh in on the November 2016 ballot. The plastic bag manufacturing trade group American Progressive Bag Alliance provided enough signatures to qualify a referendum on California's plastic bag law, suspending the implementation of the nation's first statewide ban. The bill that Governor Brown signed last fall was scheduled to be phased in starting in July at large grocery stores and supermarkets as a way to cut down on litter and protect marine life. The ban was scheduled to expand to convenience stores and pharmacies in 2016. Now the law does not apply to bags used for fruits, vegetables, or meat, or to shopping bags used at other retailers, but it does allow grocers to charge a fee of at least 10 cents for using paper bags. The bill also includes $2 million in loans for plastic bag manufacturers to shift their operations to making reusable bags. More than 100 cities and counties in California, including Los Angeles and San Francisco, already have such bans in place.
Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles was recently named one of 14 affiliates of distinction by Habitat for Humanity International for its impressive work in serving the greater LA area. Now, this is the second time Habitat LA has been selected into this award program for their efforts in meeting the affordable housing needs of low-income families. Since 1990, Habitat LA has built and renovated more than 1,000 homes locally and internationally, serving nearly 4,000 people through better housing solutions. In the past 25 years, 8 partner homeowners have also paid off their mortgages with Habitat LA's mortgage default rate less than 0.05%. Habitat LA has opened its 3rd Restore with locations now serving Torrance, Norwalk, and Bellflower. Habitat for Humanity Restores are non-profit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, home accessories, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail price.
Now in this next story, you've likely seen them come to your doors, greet you at the grocery stores, or sometimes even at your workplace. Well, there's no escaping Girl Scouts, especially during Girl Scouts cookie season. And with just about a week left, there may be a solution to getting those delicious Thin Mints or Tagalongs even on the off season. A Pennsylvania toy maker, Wicked Cool Toys, is set to release its latest product, a trademarked Girl Scouts cookie oven that allows any novice baker to recreate their favorite sweet treats like trefoils or Thin Mints year-round. The toy is said to have a real working oven, complete with mixes and tools that allows girls to make cookies that look and taste like the real thing. Similar to an Easy Bake Oven, the Girl Scouts cookie oven will be kid-safe, featuring a viewing window as well as a warming station for heating and melting cookie frostings or signature coatings. Wicked Cool Toys is also releasing a series of Girl Scouts-themed accessories, including a chalkboard cookie stand and a branded on-the-go wagon to simulate the experience of selling some of America's favorite cookies. The toy oven hits store shelves this fall with a retail value of $59.99.
Providence Little Company of Mary Medical Center, Torrance, is celebrating some good news this week after being named a baby-friendly birth facility by Baby Friendly USA, Inc. for its efforts to encourage breastfeeding. Providence Little Company of Mary Torrance is the first and only hospital in the South Bay to receive this prestigious recognition. Currently, 240 hospitals and birth centers nationwide have completed the rigorous on-site survey required in order to receive this honor. The Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative is a global program launched in 1991 by the World Health Organization and UNICEF to encourage and recognize hospitals and birthing centers that offer an optimal level of care for infant feeding and mother-baby bonding. The initiative is based on the fact that human milk fed through the mother's own breast is the natural way for human infants to be nourished. There is significant scientific evidence that points to lower risk for certain diseases and improved health outcomes for both mothers and babies who breastfeed.
Well, still ahead, a local volunteer center is helping to raise awareness, encouraging more people to get HIV/AIDS testing done.
Plus, students and parents get valuable face time with representatives from colleges across the nation, all under one roof.
Thanks for coming in for the interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, we got your personal references, your resume, high school diploma or equivalent.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Yes, it's right there.
Great.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
The explosion at ExxonMobil earlier this month is still getting a lot of conversation, and many came to the Toyota meeting hall hoping to get some answers.
It's your responsibility to safeguard them.
Standing here as a parent, this is very scary to me. Standing here as a business owner in Torrance, I will tell you it took about 2 hours for the call to come through my office that something had happened.
Those were just a few of the concerns voiced recently at a packed town hall meeting hosted by the Torrance Refinery. Councilwoman Heidi Ashcraft along with Assemblyman David Hadley were among the nearly 200 residents who attended, hoping to get some answers, mainly about the potential chemicals in the air and health effects of the dust and the ash-like substance that fell on parts of the city following the incident. Dr. Ellen McIntosh, ExxonMobil's site occupational health manager, was also on hand at the meeting to give reassurance that the air quality was safe following the incident and that residents should not be concerned.
One of the things that we wanted to do tonight is to find out the information that you think you have and tell you the information we think you have and put the actual health risks in a realistic format so that your fear of something is realistic to what the hazard actually is. As far as long-term and short-term health effects, there aren't any that are significant from this catalyst.
Now, if you missed this meeting and would like to file a claim, you can call the hotline at 844-631-2539. You can also visit ExxonMobilTorrance.com for more information on updates about the incident. You can also watch the town hall meeting in full online on our CitiCABLE YouTube page.
The most visible effects from the explosion may have been the snow-like dust that fell in the aftermath. ExxonMobil released a statement recently advising the community that it was safe to go ahead and wash the dust-like particles away with either plain water or mild soap. They stated the material is a catalyst used in our process and is primarily composed of some metal oxides and amorphous silica. We sent the material for testing, and our preliminary results are consistent with the results from an independent test conducted at the request of the Torrance Fire Department. The material is not expected to be hazardous to people or animals under the conditions it was released. However, it may cause irritation to the skin, eyes, and throat. The South Coast Air Quality Management District also published the results from the test conducted on the materials that fell on cars and on the ground. The results found samples of fiberglass, aluminum, silicon, and lower levels of other metals, but no arsenic or other traces of toxic chemicals. You can see the full report online at aqmd.gov.
With neighbors surrounding ExxonMobil's Torrance refinery, we spoke with one homeowner who resides on Delamo Boulevard just down the street from the refinery, who told us what his experience was like and the kind of damage he incurred due to the explosion.
There was a Friday, there was 2 gentlemen on this side of the street and 3 on the other side talking to the people, you know, giving you papers of what happened, and all you have to do is call in and they'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the damage to your property.
Well, there's a little spot over there, but, you know, but that's about it, nothing else.
Okay.
They go out, if it's caused by them, they'll take care of it.
Sure.
That was Ruben Ordaz, who said he and his wife were having their morning coffee when they felt the quick jolt. Ordaz is the Pueblo Homeowners Association president. He said he was born and raised in Torrance and moved into his current home in 1965. And while he said he didn't get the kind of dusting that other residents did, Ordaz says ExxonMobil has been an ideal neighbor throughout all the years he's lived in that home.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters also released a statement responding to the explosion in Torrance. She said, "My sympathies are with the 4 injured contractors and all of the workers that were affected by the refinery explosion in Torrance, as well as the residents of the surrounding community and their families. I care deeply about the safety of workers and neighbors of the ExxonMobil refinery and remain concerned for the physical and mental recovery of every person affected by such a traumatic experience. Because so many families send their loved ones to work in this refinery every day, I remain hopeful that ExxonMobil will discover the root cause of the explosion and institute safeguards to prevent an explosion from recurring." She continues to state that she plans to follow up on the investigations and work closely with local agencies and companies to prevent such an event from happening again.
Now, this week's City Council meeting also addressed the refinery explosion. Just 6 days after the incident, City staff presented a report to council members with a review of how the city handled the disaster, what information was actually available and shared by ExxonMobil, the reports from the Division of Occupational Safety and Health, better known as OSHA, and the Air Quality Management District. The briefing included a review of the city's response and activities during and after the explosion, as well as what efforts are being worked on to focus on improving the city's notification, response, and action plan so that in the event of another emergency situation like this one, more residents would be made aware of the disaster so that the appropriate steps could be taken. Now, if you've missed this council meeting, you can always catch a replay of it on our channel or online.
It's never too early to start planning your future, and just recently Torrance Unified School District held its annual college fair at West High, answering vital questions that both students and parents had about higher education. Quinn Marie tells us more.
Deciding where you want to go to college can be one of the most difficult decisions facing students today. And for Emily Nixt, a junior at West High, college is just around the corner. So the job fair like the one hosted at West High was the perfect place to get some of her questions answered.
Tuition, where the schools are located, the amount of students that go there, acceptance rates.
Nixt is one of hundreds who attended the 34th annual college fair hosted by the local school district and the Council of PTAs, hoping to encourage young minds and support parents to start planning early.
I feel like there's so much pressure that we have to get good grades to get into all these colleges.
The fair's purpose is to alleviate some of that pressure by providing students with counselors and workshops to assist in helping them navigate through their school selections. Holly Heller is the college career coordinator at West High and understands just how hard planning a future can be.
Well, a lot of students don't really know where to begin, so they're looking for kind of a way to start filtering out colleges, trying to find a place to apply to and where their interest really lies. And that's when we work a lot with them in terms of the major that they're looking for.
One of the major factors influencing that filtering process is money. Financial aid is always a top concern in choosing a school. Heller's advice for students struggling to pay for college is to look within their own community.
Torrance has an amazing scholarship program for our students, so looking at the local scholarships as well. Not a lot of people think about local scholarships, so not a lot of those go unclaimed or there's low competition.
The fair, which is free and open to the public, aims to give students real insight into what college life is all about. Things like dorms, sports, and clubs are major topics of discussion.
It's always good to see what kind of culture each college has because it's different. Yep, so it's, for young kids, I think that's important because they need to get to a college that they're going to be able to fit in and set themselves up for success.
Even students who are unsure of their career goals are encouraged to attend. Being open to explore various education options could lead to a path you never knew existed.
I feel like a lot of people don't know what they want to do and then they go to college and try and find themselves.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Quinn Marie.
Thanks, Quinn. Students of all ages were encouraged to take advantage of this event. You can get more information by going online to TUSD.org.
With breakfast considered the most important meal of the day, National School Breakfast Week hopes to reiterate that message to students across the country. Here in Torrance, several elementary schools will participate in the national campaign taking place March 2nd through the 6th. The theme of Make the Grade with School Breakfast highlights how eating a nutritious breakfast can help students achieve success in the classroom and beyond. Here in Torrance, Edison and Arlington Elementary Schools will host events on their campus to promote the breakfast program and increase the awareness of the free and reduced school meal programs and encourage more students to eat breakfast on campus. For more information, you can contact the schools directly. Well, still ahead, some local events to mark on your calendar.
Mom.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you have a pen and paper handy. Here are a few noteworthy announcements. More talks are on the way about the explosion at Torrance's refinery earlier this month. Torrance residents and community members are invited to attend an upcoming meeting on Thursday, March 5th at 6 p.m. at the Torrance City Council chambers. There will be a joint oversight hearing with the Senate Energy, Utilities, and Communications Committee and the Senate Committee on Transportation and Housing to discuss ExxonMobil's explosion on February 18th. Then, if you're a parent with a newborn or toddler, you'll want to head over to Bye Bye Baby on Torrance Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th. Members of the TOT Squad will be on hand just on this day, as well as March 21st, to help parents with car seat installation, stroller repairs, and much more. You won't want to miss that event. Then the 8th annual Walk with Sally Bowl-a-thon takes place on Saturday, March 7th, beginning at noon, helping to support families who've been impacted by cancer. Walk with Sally offers support and provides free mentoring. This takes place at PV Bowl on Crenshaw Boulevard. And don't forget to check out this month's episode of Canine Corner as Rhiannon Tretanich shows off some pretty adorable pets up for adoption. Here's a sneak preview of what's to come.
On the next Canine Corner, Doggies 911 Animal Rescue is here with adorable dogs who are up for adoption, and we'll learn some dog walking tips. Plus, we'll learn about animal communication and how it could help your pet. All this coming up on the next Canine Corner.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Canine Corner airs daily at 12 and 8 p.m. right here on Time Warner Cable Channel 3, Verizon Fios Channel 31, KNET Channel 25.2, and of course online at torranceca.gov. This next story is about a local center based here in Torrance, run entirely by volunteers, working to bring awareness to the community about the HIV/AIDS epidemic, as well as providing resources beyond health care and free testing. Quinn Marie tells us more.
25 years ago, Dottie Wine was new to the South Bay and looking for a way to connect with her local LGBT community. When she realized there were none around, Wine decided to start an organization open to the public where groups could meet and talk about their experiences.
At that time, the only places that you could really gather with other community people was in the bars, which at that time was smoking. So if you didn't like or couldn't tolerate tobacco smoke, you just kind of didn't go to the bars. And the other place was social circles. And if you were new in town, you didn't have them yet. So like, well, how do you start them? How do you meet people?
What started out as weekly newsletters soon grew to renting out halls and eventually opening the first South Bay LGBT Center in Redondo Beach, moving to its current location in Torrance in 2008. The all-volunteer-based center provides support and education for various groups, including transgender and bisexual communities. They've also recently started providing free HIV testing by collaborating with Bienestar, an organization that travels around Los Angeles administering the tests.
Started as an HIV organization. Today we're more a behavioral health. We offer a variety of services that include mental health, a lot of support groups, and focusing on the Latino immigrant community and the LGBT.
Bienestar just completed its 25th year of service with 3 HIV testing vans covering most of Southern California. HIV counselor Maggie Babs has been with Bienestar for almost 15 years, working to raise HIV awareness and urges people to get tested early.
The first thing we do, of course, is we invite people to come in and to become proactive over their bodies to take the HIV test.
The test itself is very simple. Either a prick of the finger or a cheek swab is given, and within 20 minutes, the results are available. Bienestar is also able to provide patients with links to doctors and counselors should the results come back positive. Alfonso Hicks, who's been volunteering at the center for the last 3 months, understands how intimidating the process can be and encourages locals to visit the center.
It's not as scary as you think it might be. I know a lot of people are having issues with their family and what family members are going to think, and that's why we offer the different groups and support groups and everything. And you come here, you talk to anybody here, it is like a home away from home and a second family.
Both Wine and Hicks have witnessed firsthand the positive impact the center has had on the LGBT community. With continued support from volunteers, the center hopes to further their outreach by extending hours and providing more services in the future. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Quinn Marie.
Thanks, Quinn. For more information on the HIV testing dates as well as the calendar events for the center, you can visit their website at southbaycenter.org. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And I'm Jin Chin. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.